Live, I guess.
Yes.
Hi. Okay. I think we can start while I put the label. Yeah. In the meantime, we can start.
Hello, everyone. I think we're live, so welcome everybody to the first episode of Svegliamuseo on air. Here I'm Francesca De Gottardo from Springfield, Virginia. Let me introduce you to our first guest, Dixie Clough from Smithsonian Institution in Washington.
Hi.
There she is. And our first guest from Italy is Paolo Cavallotti from Museo della Scienza e della Tecnologia Leonardo da Vinci of Milan.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Okay, and then of course my colleagues, Aurora Raimondi Cominesi from Naples.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Valeria Gasparotti from Maryland.
Hi.
And Alessandro D'Amore from Molise, right now.
Yes.
As you all know, we are a bit scattered around the world, but here we are. This is our first try, so let's hope everything is going to be okay. And this meeting will last for about 1 hour, and we'll be talking about a YouTube strategy. So I will steal just a couple of minutes to introduce this Svegliamuseo on air episode, just to tell you how it works. Dixie Clough will talk for about half an hour about museum strategies on YouTube, giving examples and talking about her personal experience with this social network. Then we will have time for Q&A, so questions from everyone there in Italy are very welcomed. You can write them either on Twitter using our account, which is @Svegliamuseo, or by email, writing to our address, which is info@svegliamuseo.com. We will have Alessandro online reading the questions, and he can translate questions into English, so you don't have any problems in using Italian for your questions. After that, Paolo from Museo della Scienza and Dixie will have time to talk about the specific YouTube strategy and channel of Museo della Scienza. And then we will have another 5, 10, it depends, minutes to ask other questions and to sum up the things we've said. So we will try to be on time. We're sorry for this initial 5 minutes delay for technical problems, of course, and we hope this meeting can be very useful for you. So please send us every feedback you may have, question, curiosities, and whatever on the channels I just said. So I leave the screen to my colleague Valeria. I hope you enjoy this. Bye.
Okay, so as Francesca said, Dixie is going to talk about YouTube strategy. So just to give a little bit of context about Dixie and a little bit of background, Dixie currently works at the Smithsonian Institution in online fundraising. Maybe, Dixie, you can explain what it is.
And fundraising.
She does fundraising, but online, you know. And she is also the social media manager of Curator, the museum journal. But besides all these things that she does, she is also very passionate about YouTube and YouTube strategy. So her research focus revolves around how museum can use YouTube in creative and effective way. And she's been studying and researching on this, and she's been talking at different conferences, and the last one was the American Alliance National Meeting and the Museums and the Web in Baltimore, where she talked about different video platforms and how museums can use them, in particular YouTube, Vimeo, and Instagram. And yeah, I think we can start. Was that good, Dixie?
That was good. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm glad.
I'm actually today going to kind of reuse my presentation from AAM this year and talk about the different platforms, the video platforms,
okay,
so that museums can get a bigger understanding of what's available in the video platforms and maybe what they should be using based on what they need. So let me, hopefully this works, fingers crossed. I'm going to share, fingers crossed. Okay. So,
Yes.
you can see things? Good.
I can see it.
Awesome. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Here we go. So I'm going to talk about Vimeo and then YouTube, then Vine, then Instagram video, and just give you an idea of the cultures of the platform and how you might be able to use them for your museum, or just know whether to use Vimeo or YouTube or any of the platforms. So Vimeo was actually founded in 2004, and today it has over 22 million registered users and about 70 million unique users a month. In 2013, there were almost 5 billion video views on the entire platform. It's still a pretty small platform compared to YouTube, though. And it's mainly a film enthusiast audience. So serious professionals from fields focused on film and video making are the ones who are really creating videos for the platform. Let me see. It's not moving forward, guys. There we go. Sorry. So the kinds of videos that you're going to see on Vimeo tend to be documentaries, art videos, animated shorts, independent shorts, experimental videos, that kind of thing. So it's very professional video platform type of content. And behind the screen, you'll actually see videos that are popular on the channels themselves, so you can get an idea of what kind of videos are being loaded and watched on these different platforms. Okay, so I think I have to do that, and then that. Okay. So the video behind this screen is actually the most watched video on Vimeo. And just to give you an idea, even though it's the most watched, it only has about 28.7 million plays. So that tells you that it's quite a smaller audience than YouTube, and their highest watched video has over 1 billion views. So it is a very different size of audience. So that's something you have to take into consideration when you decide which platform to use. And Vimeo is one of the unique platforms that we're talking about today because you have to pay to get all the benefits of Vimeo. The basic free one will allow you to upload about 20 gigs per week, 1 or 2 videos, but that's probably not going to work for museums, so museum would actually have to pay for the pro account, and the pro account is also the only account where you get the best analytics. So all these things, honestly, I think make Vimeo maybe the least usable platform for museums. Although, if you are a museum that wants to do professional type videos like this, it might be a good one to go for. You are able to make money on your videos on Vimeo. Vimeo allows users to, there's a tip jar function which allows viewers to give you tips if they really like your video, so they'll pay you just out of the goodness of their heart. But coming from an online fundraising world, I will tell you that don't expect a lot of money, because when people go to video platforms, they're not really thinking, I want to give money to someone. They're thinking, I want to watch a video. So online fundraising wise, it's probably not going to make you a lot of money. Vimeo also licensed videos to Getty, but if you think about Getty videos, they want stock footage that they can resell to people to use in their own videos. So maybe time-lapse videos they would want to buy, but most videos they probably will not want to buy. And then there's also, if you are a pro user of Vimeo, then you are able to have an on-demand channel, which people will pay money to see your videos. But as museums, I know that's not something that we really want our content to be out there and free and available to everyone. So I know that that's probably not something museums are going to be super interested in, but I just wanted to get it out there that that is a possibility for Vimeo. Sorry. So back-end tools for Vimeo. Sorry. So the platform is available for professional video makers. That's what most of the people using it do. So there aren't a lot of back-end tools. You can add music and sound effects, you can add filters, but that's about it. Other tools are probably the best part of Vimeo is versioning. If you have a video that's up and you want to change it, you want to edit it, and then reload it, you can do that and still keep the analytics from the previous version of your video. And this is not something that YouTube allows. It's only something that Vimeo allows. And also they have pretty good analytics, although YouTube has better analytics because they are Google, and Google's all about big data. So probably the best analytics are actually going to be coming from YouTube. And if you want the good analytics, you actually have to pay for your Pro account. And all the stuff that you get with a Pro and Plus account are on Vimeo.com. I didn't go into it because it's usually better to see all the options next to each other. So if you do want to see that, you can find it on Vimeo.com. So the pros of using Vimeo. Vimeo has captions. It's a relatively new feature for them. So that's good. I know a lot of museums really need to have a caption function on their videos. It allows you to embed your videos onto other websites, custom thumbnails, all the things that you're really used to with a video platform. You have public and private options, so you can have public videos, you can have private videos to get them approved before you make them public, or just private videos for certain types of audiences. You can give them the links to them. Versioning, as I said, is a really big pro for Vimeo. And there's also options for no ads. I know a lot of people on YouTube get really frustrated with the ads. And there's less clutter. The actual format of the Vimeo pages are made to look like a video portfolio, so it's made to make the video the main feature, whereas on YouTube, you see all the videos on the side, you see videos everywhere else to get you to click to all different things. The cons for Vimeo are it is a much, much smaller audience than YouTube. You have to pay for advanced features, which I know museums have small budgets, so it's maybe not the best thing for them. There is no streaming. For instance, on YouTube, you can use Google Hangouts and stream directly to YouTube, but Vimeo doesn't have anything like that. And its analytics are not as robust as YouTube. So that's just an overview of Vimeo, and as you can see, all the videos behind the PowerPoint are very professional, artsy, filmmaker type videos, which could work for certain types of museums, if that's the type of museum you're working in. We're going to go on to YouTube. So YouTube was founded in 2005. It's actually a year after Vimeo was founded, but YouTube is the one that took off. And it really has to do with when Vimeo was founded, it didn't have all the tools and things that it has now, and YouTube was a little more user-friendly, and it just took off in a way that Vimeo never did. So it has about 1 billion unique users a month, and about 100 hours of videos are uploaded every minute to YouTube, which means that you have a lot of competition when you're on YouTube, which is something that I think museums have run across. They don't get a lot of views on their video because there are so many other videos out there. It's hard to find. It's really hard to find museum videos, and often museum videos aren't quite what people on YouTube want to watch, and I'll go into a little more of that a little bit later. But as you can see from behind the PowerPoint, these videos are much more informal and a little more fun. YouTube is a very general audience as opposed to the filmmaker audience of Vimeo. It's a convenient way for anyone to upload videos of everything. And it's a very international audience. Most of the audience comes from outside of the US, and it's a really great way to build up an audience all the way around the world. It's also a relatively young audience. There are more 18 to 24-year-olds on YouTube than any cable network, which I know museums are really interested in getting that young audience involved in museums and interested in learning in new different ways. So it's a great way to reach that 18 to 24-year-old audience. The types of videos that you're going to find on YouTube. Comedy skits are absolutely the #1 thing that you're going to find. YouTube is a very comedy type of platform, but there's also vlogs, which is video blogging about your life. Gaming is a huge subculture on YouTube. People will watch other people play video games just for fun. And the gaming culture has even integrated itself into other parts of YouTube. Gaming speak like Pwn and Noob will show up in videos that have nothing to do with gaming. So that's something also to think about, is there a way to incorporate video games into your museums or video gaming language so that you are more in line with what's happening on YouTube? There are educational videos. There's a great subculture of YouTube called Nerd Fighters, and their slogan is "Don't forget to be awesome." And they love, love, love to watch fun, interesting, creative educational videos. And they have really great interactions in the comments as well. It's just a great educational audience that I think that museums should definitely tap into. One museum that's done this pretty well is the Brain Scoop, which is now part of the Field Museum. It was actually co-started by one of the founders of the Nerd Fighters, Hank Green of the Vlog Brothers. And they really have tapped into the Nerd Fighter community, and that's why their channel is pretty popular now. There are also videos relying on special effects, green screen work, explosions. Freddie W. is one of these channels that has done really well. He got 1 million subscribers in a year because his videos were so interesting and cool. Music, people doing covers of songs, people doing their own songs. It's a really big part of YouTube subculture. And then there are artistic videos like you would find on Vimeo, but the people who do really well in the artistic video section of YouTube also tend to do vlogs and comedy skits along with their artistic videos. So ways you can make money on YouTube. Ads, of course. I know a lot of museums are against using ads on YouTube. But it is actually, when ads first came out on YouTube, people were pretty mad, but now it's something that people are used to. So if you do start to get a lot of viewers, a lot of subscribers, it's something that you should definitely think about with your museum as whether you should incorporate ads into your videos to make money. I think people would be okay with it because if you're a nonprofit, making money off the ads actually helps. It's like they're donating to your museum without actually donating to it. There are paid channels, which is a lot like on demand on Vimeo. People would pay to see your content, but that's probably, as well as Vimeo, not something that museums are going to be interested in, but it is available. If you're a YouTube nonprofit partner, there's a way to use Google to get donations from your viewers, but as I said, don't expect a lot of donations. And then something that's not technically a part of YouTube, but is a big part of the YouTube culture, is merchandising. So if your videos, if you start to have a theme to your videos, if you have a slogan or there's something happening in the Brain Scoop, she always has a red chair and there's a raccoon and she says, "Let's gut it." So a t-shirt with a red chair on it or a t-shirt with "Let's gut it" written on it, slogans and things that appear in your museums, people will buy them. And that's a big part of YouTube culture, is to buy merchandise from your favorite YouTubers and wear it around because you're part of that community and you want to show that you're a fan. So back-end tools for YouTube. There's a lot more back-end tools on YouTube than Vimeo, mainly because it is more general audience, so some people might need these back-end tools. So the analytics are amazing because Google is a big data they pretty much spearheaded the big data movement. You pretty much almost need a degree to understand these analytics. You can see the analytics showing up behind me now, behind the screen now. There is a music store on YouTube. You can add music to your videos. You can do some slight editing, cutting off the end and the beginning and changing the coloring, things like that. There's a really, really great captioning function on YouTube. Not only can you ask YouTube to create captions for you based on what language the person is speaking in, but you can ask for translations through YouTube as well. And you can upload your own transcripts. One tip I would suggest is you have YouTube create the captions for you, you download those captions, and you're going to have to edit them because the voice recognition is not very good. But it has already put the timestamps on the captions for you, so all you have to do is edit the language and then re-upload it as a transcript, and then it's much easier than having to do it all from scratch. You can also stream on YouTube using Google Hangouts and record it directly to YouTube. And there are privacy settings just like Vimeo, so you can create private videos, you can create public videos, you can create videos that people can only see if they have the link, or you can create videos that people can only see if you have entered their email address. So it's a very private setting where those videos will only be seen by very few people that have their email address written into the video. There's also a new function that I wanted to mention that YouTube has done. It's actually an app. It's very similar to Vine and Instagram video, where you can create a video through an app on your phone and then upload it directly to YouTube. But it's unlimited. There's no limit on the time the video has to be, the length of the video. It's very new. I don't think people are really using it, but it's something you can look into if that's of interest to you. So the pros of YouTube. YouTube has a much larger audience than Vimeo. It allows the streaming, like I said, the captions with many options. It has, just like Vimeo, the embed options and custom thumbnails. The analytics, the big data stuff, is on the back end. It has public and unlisted options, like I said, with the private and public videos. It's free, which I think is one of the #1 reasons that museums are using YouTube. It is indeed free. And it's also a search engine. YouTube is the #2 most used search engine on the internet after Google. So keep that in mind when you create videos. Remember that people are searching for things on YouTube, and think about what they might be searching for at certain moments in time. If there's been a big scientific discovery, they're going to be searching for those videos. So make sure you can create a video pretty quickly and put it up on YouTube, and then people will find your video. If there's a really popular movie coming out, maybe if you have something in your collection related to that movie, you create a video around the time that people are going to be searching for that movie. So think in your head, like, what are people going to be searching for, and do we have anything we can create a video about around the time they're going to be searching for that thing? And that's a really great way to build up a new audience. So the cons to YouTube, there actually aren't that many cons. There's ads and clutter that I know museums are a little bit concerned about. But as I said, people are used to ads, and the clutter, I mean, if your museums are great, the clutter doesn't matter. If your videos are great, the clutter doesn't matter. People are going to be paying attention to your video. There is more competition, way more competition, with the 100 hours being loaded every minute? Every minute. Then you have to make sure that your videos are something that people want to watch on YouTube. Otherwise, they're not going to find it, and they're also not going to want to subscribe to your channel and become a fan that watches all of your videos. So that is something museums have to think about. And there is no versioning as there is on Vimeo. So if you need to edit a video and re-upload it, you're going to lose all the analytics of the previous video. So I did want to go back to this whole more competition thing. If you could tell from the videos behind the PowerPoint screens between Vimeo and YouTube, these are the popular videos on those channels. And I'm sure you noticed that neither one of the types of videos looks like things that museums are creating, really. Museums are creating one-way broadcast types of videos, very TV, formal videos that professional filmmakers might make for a documentary or something like that. And these are not the types of videos that people want to watch on these platforms, which is a big reason why museums are not getting a lot of views on their videos. And I think that's something that museums really have to confront and think about in their video strategy is, are you creating videos that people want to watch, or are you just creating videos that you think that will make your museum look smart? I don't I guess is the question. And I think that museums, if they want to have the interaction and the popularity on these channels that I've heard they do want, we're going to have to change the way we create videos. We're going to have to think more informally and think more, how do we get this message across in a fun, entertaining way? And it's definitely possible. If you look at any of the Nerd Fighters videos, there are some great educational videos out there. So it's something that museums have to confront, that we are not creating videos that people want to watch on any of these platforms. Okay, we're going to go to short form video really quickly. The first one we're going to talk about is Vine. Vine was founded in 2012, and it allows you to create 6-second videos. It has over 130 million users, but I don't think that really counts because I think it's a lot like Twitter. People, it was new, it was fun, people wanted to try it out, so they created an account, but then they kind of abandoned it. So it's actually a pretty small audience on Vine. And it's young creative users. I would actually say that Vine is equivalent to YouTube, and Instagram video is more like Vimeo, because the Vine videos are actually more comedy and more like the YouTube videos. So sorry, this did not play. There we go. So the Vine that you're seeing now is one of the most popular Viners, and the guy in the car is actually a YouTuber, Day Storm. So they often collaborate with each other to create really fun, comedic Vines. Vine doesn't really have demographics online, but based on what I know about YouTube and what I've seen on Vine, I would say Vine and YouTube are very similar in their demographics. It's probably more males on Vine, but it's close to a 50-50 split. And the most popular Viners are actually 18 to 29, maybe 25-year-olds. The most popular Viners tend to be college-aged, but there are a lot of younger kids watching it, which is the same with YouTube as well. So that's something to think about when you think about creating videos for Vine. This is a comedic platform with a very similar audience to what YouTube does. So the types of videos are very similar to YouTube. Like I said, there's comedy skits are the #1 thing. Epic fails will sometimes become viral, and viral videos like the cat video before. And then there are some artsy videos, but they don't actually do that well on Vine because the audience really wants to have something comedic that they can share on Twitter and YouTube and everything else that they want to share it on. So the tools of Vine, Vine is an app. I don't know if you know that much about it. It's an app that you download to your phone to create videos, short version videos. And through Vine, you actually do have to record the videos on your phone through the app to upload it to Vine. For Instagram video, that's not true, but on Vine it is. As such, they've created pretty good back-end tools to edit your videos. There's a sessions feature, which is relatively new. You can start a video and then leave that video, save it, and then come back and finish it later. And I think you can have up to 10 video projects unfinished on the app. And this is a great tool. A lot of videos do take a lot of time, especially if you're doing stop-motion animation. So you're able to leave it and then come back to it later. There are things like you can focus on certain parts of the screen. There's a grid that you can put on your screen so that you can line things up perfectly. There's a ghosting feature, so if you are doing stop-motion animation, you're able to line up the last shot with your shot that you're trying to create now, so it's a transparency of the last shot that you created that you can then line up to the current shot that's also showing. You can remove mistakes on Vine. What Vine does is when you record, it creates frames, so all these frames line up and they look like little pictures, so each millisecond or whatever it is shows up as a picture, and if you don't like a certain part of the video, you just take that frame that looks like a picture and you drag it to the trash can, and you can rearrange all the frames if you want, so it's a really great editing tool inside the app. You can also have protected posts, so you can post something but it can be private, so you can get permission to post it publicly in your museum. And then Vine recently created a desktop website for Vine, which is relatively new for them, that you can create a profile a lot like Twitter or a lot like Tumblr, and you can re-Vine things. So if you like someone else's Vine, you can now put it on your own Vine channel, I guess, a lot like Tumblr. So the pros of using Vine, the protected posts. I know museums really need that ability to approve things before they post them. There's a lot of editing features on Vine that are not available on Instagram. I think the ghosting feature is probably the most useful one. And Vine, what it does is after the 6 seconds plays, it will loop the video. which can get you watching a 6-second video over and over and over again, and you don't even know where the time went, basically. So I think that's actually a really good feature of Vine, is having people keep watching your video over and over, like they're mesmerized. And then the sessions feature, where you can start a video and then leave it, is a really great pro for Vine. The cons of Vine are you can't import video to use in Vine. On Instagram video, you can import video from other devices to use in Vine. But on Vine, you do have to record directly on your phone through the app. It is another account to manage. I know that most museums have an Instagram account already. A lot of them have probably reserved a Vine account, but this is a totally different culture. You can't put the same videos on Instagram as you do on Vine and that kind of thing. So it's a lot similar to the YouTube versus Vimeo. You can't put the same video on both platforms and expect it to do well on both. It's just not the same culture. So it's another account to manage, it's another culture to understand, another audience to build up, another type of video to create. So that's something to think about. It's a much smaller audience than Instagram video. It's younger. It's a younger platform than Instagram, and a lot of people did abandon Vine after they decided, oh, I did it once, it's fine, and then they left. And it's shorter videos than Instagram, although I don't think that's really for museums a big deal, because we do know how to put a lot of information in a very small label in exhibits, so we can do the same thing in videos, so that's not a big deal. Instagram video. So Instagram video was founded in 2013, a little bit after Vine. They saw what Vine did and said, wow, we should get on that short form video thing. You can do 15-second videos on Instagram video. And because Instagram's been around for a while, it has a large audience. There's about 200 million active users on Instagram every month, and it is a young social audience. An intern at the Smithsonian once said that she and her friends use Instagram the way, I guess, my generation, not that much older than her, but the way we use Facebook. So they are actually commenting and having long conversations on their Instagram pictures and things like that. So think about the way that maybe my age would use Facebook, and that's the way a lot of younger people are using Instagram. So 60% of the users of Instagram are outside of the US, so it's a great way to build a worldwide audience as well. There's that great 18 to 29-year-old audience. It's a pretty high number are using Instagram. Also the younger audience, the people in high school, the ones that are using it like Facebook. There's a lot of them as well. It is mostly women on Instagram, which I find very interesting. So that's something to think about when you're creating your videos. And then pretty much 17% of all adult internet users are using Instagram. This is an amazingly large audience on the internet. So if you're not on Instagram, even if you don't do videos, maybe you should do at least the images, the pictures. So the things you'll find on Instagram are corporate ads. There are a lot of corporate ads, a lot for the videos, mainly because a lot of corporations already had really well-branded, robust Instagram accounts for images, so they just added video right on top of that. So there's a lot of corporations using it for video. There's a lot of artsy videos. If you think about Instagram culture before they added video, it was an artsy culture. People wanted to show the most beautiful shots of anything they could. So it makes sense that the videos as well would be the same thing. There are some comedy videos on Instagram, but it's not quite as a big part of the culture as with Vine. And then there are also vlog type videos, which makes sense because a lot of the Instagram accounts were people showing off their life. So adding a vlog video into that kind of account makes sense. Back-end tools. There are not a lot of back-end tools on Instagram. And a big reason for that is that you do not have to use the Instagram video app on your phone in order to upload a video to Instagram. You can create a video on your camera, upload it to your computer, edit it on your computer, and then upload it to Instagram. So they haven't put the energy into the back-end tools, the editing features that Vine has. And I think that's fine. Often computers have much better editing than any kind of app can give you anyway. You can add filters because it is Instagram, and that's about the only thing you can do to your video is add a filter after you've created it. The pros of Instagram. There is a much larger audience on Instagram. The videos are longer. There's about 15-second videos. You can make shorter videos than 15 seconds, but you can go up to 15 seconds. You can upload videos from other devices, like I said, so you can edit it somewhere else and upload it later. And it's one less account to manage, because I know a lot of museums have already created an Instagram account, have already built an audience on that account. So just creating videos that look a lot like the images that you've been successful with will help you out there. The cons, there's fewer editing features, but as I said, maybe that's not such a con. And there's no looping, which I do kind of feel like is a con. If you want to rewatch an Instagram video, you do have to press play again, and most people aren't really going to do that unless the video is really cool. Oh, sorry, this is a Walker Art Instagram video.
Okay, Dixie, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay, sorry. We're kind of running out of time. If you can speed it up. Oh, you're done. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that was it.
Sorry. So finish it, and then we will have some questions for you. Sorry.
Yep. So that was basically it. If you couldn't tell from the presentation, I think that people should be using YouTube over Vimeo. It's free, bigger audience, and there's those integrated subcultures that museums can tap into. And then Instagram video over Vine, mainly because, as well, it's more what people want to watch without the comedy. Am I back on? Okay, there we go.
Sorry. Here you are. No, it's perfect, because we started 10 minutes later, so it's half an hour precise. Okay, thank you. So we have some questions for you.
Yeah.
Should I start with mine? Okay, so you talk about the fact that museums should actively and proactively create engaging videos.
Yes.
And if you look at the vast majority of the YouTube accounts of museums, you see that they're more like lecture style, and they kind of repurpose content that they already have and they put them on YouTube. So I get your point that they should actively creating new content, but it is more likely that a museum, like most of the museums do, just use YouTube as they do now. So repurposing the content that they already have. So what should be the balance between those two components in a way that what should they do with the content that they already have? They should create another channel, or they should use that content for another type of platforms and keep YouTube for the fun stuff and engaging stuff? What should they do?
Yeah, it's good, I think, for museums to put that serious content up onto their YouTube channel. People who are actually looking to do research papers or things like that, or are really big into the serious stuff, will be looking for it. But a big part of YouTube is, if you do two different types of videos, two different styles, if you're going to have the serious stuff, I would actually have a different channel for that than if you do decide to start creating videos directly for YouTube in that style of video. If you have the capacity and you're able to, and you create more fun videos more in the style of YouTube, create a different channel for that. Because if you end up uploading both types of videos, your subscribers are going to get confused. And subscribers are people that really like your channel, so they subscribe and they get announcements every time you upload a new video. So let's say you have a fun video and then suddenly you upload an hour-and-a-half long lecture. That's not something that they signed up to watch, is the hour-and-a-half long lecture. They signed up to watch the fun video. So they're getting announcements every time you upload a video, and they're going to be like, what's going on here? It's a branding issue. It's also a trying to keep your fans involved issue.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask one for myself? Since there are museums in Italy following this interview, and most of them don't already have a YouTube channel, what would be the ideal approach to kick off a new channel for a museum? For example, can you give us a quick example of workflow that a person in a museum who wants to start a new YouTube channel should follow?
Okay. What a workflow, wow, okay. Well, what they should probably do is first decide what is the style of video that they're going to create. What do they want to come across as? Do they want to Do they want to have a face in front of the camera all the time, a constant face, someone who's fronting the channel as a vlogger, or like, I don't know if anyone's seen the Brain Scoop, but the Field Museum has a certain person that goes around and talks to people around the museum, and she is a constant. But there's also, you can do drawing videos or different types of videos. So decide what kind of video you want to create, and then come up with, I would actually say, come up with a bunch of videos, ideas, so that you know that you can continue this. And then once you have that and you have the people that are going to create your videos, create a schedule. What kind of schedule do you want to follow? Do you want to do once a week? Do you want to do every other week? You can do once a month, as long as your videos are really good quality and things that people want to watch. Once a month is fine. And then once you have that together, create your first video, because you don't want to have a channel with no videos on it. And then go to YouTube and create a channel. If you already have a Google Plus account, it'll be the same account now that Google's integrated everything. And you create your channel. You're going to have a big picture and an icon picture. So have the pictures ready, brand your channel that way, and upload your first video. And as you start to create videos, if you do different series, if you do different, let's say you have one that's a vlogger, but then you have another series that's something totally different. You create playlists in YouTube to keep the same style of videos together that people want to watch. Only the vlogger videos, there's a way to create playlists of just those videos so people can continuously watch them. So it's a lot of different things in YouTube that you can do, but definitely first sit down and think about what types of videos you do want to create before you even start your channel.
Good, great, thank you. Okay, so
any other questions?
I don't know if any one of us has another question, Alessandro, if you want so. Then we can move to Paolo and Museo della Scienza.
Yes, okay. I want to ask an interesting question, because I'm aficionado of storytelling. So, do you have any tips about narrative construction for an appealing video?
A what?
An
Sorry,
appealing video.
Yes, any tips about narrative construction for an appealing video?
Narrating a video?
Yes.
I guess what Alessandro is trying to say is, like, when you make a video, you build kind of a story. Mm-hmm. And he's passionate about storytelling, and it's also storytelling is kind of a buzzword in the museum field right now. So what are the elements of how do you build a story on a YouTube video that is not like a movie, or it's a really interesting platform? It's different from any other else, and like you cannot. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. Yeah. I just went black for a second. So am I making sense?
Yeah, so like, how do you format a video? How do you make it flow?
No, in a way, like in the making of, like, assuming that the museum decide to use YouTube and to create engaging content. What is, like, take for example the Brain Scoop. What is the structure? How do you start, and how do you create the story? What is the main elements of the story within a YouTube video?
It totally depends on what type of video you're creating. But if we're going to go with Brain Scoop, they have a single person that's in all of their videos, and they have an intro. They actually do have an introduction video with the Field Museum logo on it. That's constant in their videos. They also have their vlogger. She has like a base camp. There's a certain room that she always maybe starts from or does things from or talks from, that has it has a bookcase with a raccoon, and there's a chair and a lamp. So there's a setting, so she can set up the video from that one place, and it gives viewers a constant, that one room and that one person. But then what she does is she goes out and she just talks to curators, and she has such a great personality that she's able to pull it off. There are other channels where they will do science experiments actually on the channel, and they tend to have an intro, hey, hi, I'm whoever, or whatever their tagline is that they start off with, and then they just go into the video. So there's often not I wouldn't say that YouTube often does have a storyline. It's a lot of things that happen and then you edit the fun things together kind of platform more than having a storyline. But it is possible to create a story with your videos, and if you want to do more videos with a storyline, it's really about storyboarding and making sure that you know exactly what you want to say when you want to say it to create the storyline that you want. And it's quite possible to create whatever story you would want to.
Okay, thank you, Dixie. So I think we should start with Paolo and Museo della Scienza e della Tecnologia of Milan with their channels and some practical advice with their channel. Are you there, Paolo?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I let you on stage.
Okay. Well, about our strategy on YouTube is that we don't have a strategy. So I think that's the reason probably why it's very useful for us to have this meeting together and to talk with Dixie today. I have to say the reason what happened through the last years for us is that we never had a proper regular production of videos with some kind of strategy under that. We had some old productions, new productions with very different goals, and that they come from very different sources also. Some of them are done inside the museum, others are made some agencies outside. Now I show you something, of course. And what happened is that in the end, for us, because we didn't have the opportunity to sit down, have some time and think about a proper strategy, is that in the end what happened through the time is that it became like a kind of a repository of all our video stuff, more than anything else, to be used then to use them in other channels. Like, for example, if I need to do something on Facebook, or if I want to use it on the website. Of course, I don't want to. Sorry, there is some ambulance outside. Okay. And so what happened that in the end it became like a tool only to use the video somewhere else. And of course, this is not definitely the way to use the channel. But now I try to show you the channel, if I will be able. Yes. Okay. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the page, and as you can see, there are. Wait a second. Videos are very, very different one from the other, because some of them are like, for example, the last one that we just uploaded today. It was used because there have been an article outside talking about a production that we did inside an interactive production. So is really about talking about a multimedia stuff that we did, and we needed to product this to show and to be used by a newspaper outside that. And other things are more like done with mobile phones or video cameras to show to our public some activities that were doing somewhere, and just like a very not professional production. But it was the purpose. It was not a problem that it was not professional. Of course, okay, it's not uploading. Okay. Other are like a backstage work inside the museum, showing some interactive stuff that were prepared for the activities inside the museum. So it's used for a blog that we have online. That is a blog related with the works that stay behind the curtains of the interactive activity of the museum. Other are interviews with maybe also very important science. Well, this is not a very important scientist, of course, with very important scientists that for some projects, we made interviews with them, and they give us some stories about their life or their studies and things like that. Of course, as you can see, now I come back to you. Am I back to you? Yes.
Yes.
So as you can see, all videos have completely different kind of goals, and they come from different origins and are used in different ways. And of course, we would like to change this. We will still have this problem. So for me, for example, it was very useful the thing that you said before about that maybe doing different channels can be also a solution sometimes, because of course we cannot do 10 channels related with different kind of stuff, but maybe if we want to sit down and think about a strategy, maybe we could do at least one channel related with a proper strategy related with video channel. So it seemed to me that the thing that you were saying just was really interesting for me, and that's it. There's no more than this that I can say about our video and YouTube production.
That's actually what you just said is pretty much what every museum is doing, including the Smithsonian. I mean, our channels, we have a lot of them for the different museums. There's lectures, and then there's little interviews with scientists, and then there's things that we put in exhibits. So it's entirely the same thing that I've really seen every museum doing. Really, the only one that I've seen that has a very obvious strategy is the Field Museum, the Brain Scoop channel. So don't feel badly. That's every museum around the world is doing the same thing.
But do you think, for example, that do you think that is maybe more useful to use also playlists for some uses? Do you think that talking about doing a different channel, how would you split the use of two different channels, for example?
Mm-hmm. Well, as you said, I think the channel that you have now, you can organize it in a way that has playlists, and if you have certain types of videos that are very similar, having them in playlists. So that will help the organization of the channel that you have currently. But if you do decide to actually create specific videos for YouTube, I would actually put that on a different channel like you were saying. And then keep this channel for any other content that you need, like you're doing now. But definitely try to put them in playlists to help users find the videos a little easier. But yes, if you do decide to create an actual YouTube strategy, another channel would be a great idea.
Do you have some examples of some kind of strategy that some museums did related with the YouTube channel?
Yeah, the only person, let me see, I can actually show you a Brain Scoop video. I actually think Brain Scoop started in a small museum in Montana, and when they were in Montana, they were a lot more creative than they are now in the Field Museum. The Field Museum is a bigger museum. I'm sure there's a lot more museum politics involved. So their videos are now longer and a little less creative and fun. So I'm actually going to show you one of her older videos so you can see what they're doing. And it's a great channel to check out and look and see what they're doing, because they do have a lot more views than a lot of museums do. So let's see. So this is their channel, The Brain Scoop. And my favorite video, I'm going to go ahead and search for it. Here it is.
There are many things that plague our country today. Rampant crime, violent video games, a degradation of family values. But perhaps most importantly, children aren't being taught to differentiate properly between horns and antlers. Horns and antlers are generally used for defending territory, fighting off predators, and attracting mates. I know nothing gets me going quite like a nice big rack of antlers. Antlers! No, Stefan, that's a horn. Horns are comprised of an eternal living bone core covered with a permanent keratin sheath. Keratin is the stuff that your hair and your fingernails are made out of. Horns start to grow shortly after birth and continue to grow with the animal throughout its life. The horn specimens we have in our collection include sheep, mountain goats, cows, and bison. You'll notice here that horns are single protrusions without any additional forking or branching. Horns! No, Stefan. Those are antlers. Antlers are made entirely out of bone and, unlike horns, are repeatedly shed and regrown throughout the animal's lifetime. These antlers, also known as a rack, regrow larger every year. By the time a male moose reaches his golden years, it will take just as much energy to grow a large set of antlers as it does for a female moose to grow a baby. The antler initially grew.
So I don't want to take up too much time with that, but that's a type of video that a museum is actually creating. I don't know if you can see me again, but that's a type of video that a museum's actually creating that a lot of people are watching. So I think that channel, and I know it's a science channel as well. It's not quite the same. It's natural history science, but it's a great channel to look at as a museum who's doing things in a way that people want to watch them. I'm actually going to show. I'm going to show you a few other channels so you can write down their names, because these are science channels that do science experiments that I think are good to look at to see what you might be able to pull inspiration from. So let me do that really quickly. I had them up there. This is one, Veritasium, if you can see the channel name here. He's a great one to look at. He's getting millions of views, and he does science experiments on his channel. Another one, Vsauce. He also gets millions of views on his science videos. He does it in a slightly different way. He just talks to the screen and has pictures show up. This one is a university channel. They don't get quite as many views, but I think it's interesting to see an older gentleman talking about periodic things, and he's actually pretty popular because usually you see younger people, so it's great to see an older person being popular. Minute Physics is a different style of video. He teaches physics while he's drawing out the concepts, and he started off doing really short videos, but he's gotten into longer form videos and changed it up the way he does things. So that's also popular. It's possible for your channel to evolve from short videos into longer, different style videos. That's completely fine. And that's a good channel to look at to see what people are doing in that way. So those are some channels that you might want to check out as inspiration, especially as a science museum, to see what kinds of videos that they're creating that are popular.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Okay, I think we have a question from YouTube, from Twitter.
Yeah. Just give me a second. So Mario Trabucco asked, what is the balance between the length of a video and the attention span of the average user, which we know is really, really low?
Really low. I would actually say that the Vlog Brothers, they're the Nerdfighter people who's created the Nerdfighter community. They've actually done something really interesting where if they go over 4 minutes, if they can't edit their video down to 4 minutes, then the viewers can suggest that they do something embarrassing to themselves on camera. So it's kind of fun to create a challenge like that for your museum. Like if you can't keep it under 4 minutes or under a certain amount of minutes, maybe your viewers get to like make you do something in the museum or whatever. But 4 minutes, I would say, is probably the best time frame or less for your videos. Minute Physics, he was doing concepts in 1 minute, 2 minutes. That's a great time frame as well for a YouTube video. But if your content does need more time, you can split your video out into parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, and have it load a new part every week or something. But I would say, I've said 4 minutes, but I know museums need more time to talk about the concepts, so 5 minutes is probably the best maximum time. Any longer, it should be really, really interesting content, because otherwise people aren't going to watch all the way to the end.
Okay. Dixie, I have more of an interested question for our YouTube channel, for our Svegliamuseo channel.
Okay.
So to make, do you think and to make our videos more accessible to an Italian or a deaf audience, we should add subtitles, because all of our interviews will be mostly in English. And if yes, is there any crowdsourcing tool that we can use and that it's provided by YouTube or?
Yes. The captioning tool that I talked about for YouTube is really great. And when you upload a video, there's a captioning tab that you can click on, just on the back end, and then you choose which language the people are speaking in, and then it will actually use voice recognition and create captions for you. Those captions are going to be wrong because voice recognition has not gotten there yet, but you can then download those captions and edit them, and then upload them again. And what YouTube has done is they've time-stamped it for you to know when each phrase should be showing on the screen. So it makes it a lot easier for you. They've already time-stamped it, you edit it, and then you re-upload it, and it's a lot easier. You can also ask for translations through YouTube. So if you need captions in other languages, you can ask for those through YouTube as well.
Thank you.
I have another question. It is related with tags. What is the best strategy related with the using tags on YouTube?
Putting words on your...
Yes. The meta tags, like, is there some strategy related with
SEO. It's a search engine, so any SEO things that you can think about, whatever you're putting on your websites to make Google find it, same thing, since it's a Google search engine.
So it's just the same as a Google one.
Yeah, and you should think about what's not only what is the video about, but if there's, you should always have your museum in there. Maybe have 5 tags that never change, your museum name, and a few other tags that you know you're always going to use, and then tag it based on what's in the video itself. Meta tags, I mean, it's just like SEO for Google.
Okay.
One last question. How do you think it's possible to balance the activity and the stuff that a museum does on YouTube with the other channels? Like, for example, the Museum of Science in Milan has already a Facebook page and a Twitter account. So how do you see also the cross-promotion across channel of the YouTube thing, and how could you strategize the different use of the channels?
So of course you can, you definitely should be posting your YouTube videos on Twitter and onto Facebook after you create them, but alternately what you can do is you can ask questions you can have people ask questions on Twitter or on Facebook, and then you can answer those questions in fun YouTube videos. So that's a way to get your Twitter people to come to your YouTube channel to see the answers to their questions, that kind of thing. If you have a Pinterest account, let's say you're, I don't know, if you're a science museum and you have a Pinterest account that has science activities on it, like if there's science experiments, you can pin them on your Pinterest account, but then do those activities on your YouTube channel, and then point back and forth in between the two. So think about ways that you can integrate the other social media channels into your videos, as well as vice versa.
Okay.
Great, thank you. So I think our time has just run out because it's 1 hour now. So compliments to everyone. Thank you for respecting timetable. And I hope this meeting has been useful for everyone at home. Sure enough, it has been really useful for us since we just started our YouTube account today. So it's, we
strategy,
will,
or did you just start one?
yeah, we started with the right one. That's it. So thank you for your tips. I really hope also Paolo found it useful for his museum.
Very much, very much. Thank you very much.
So we'll keep everyone updated with new strategies online with Museo della Scienza and Svegliamuseo, and I really hope that also museums in Italy can find tips, useful tips in this interview. For next times, I tell everyone we have these beautiful Svegliamuseo stickers, and we can give them, send them home to people who write questions on Twitter and by email, because we really appreciate this interaction, and I think it's even more useful this Q&A time rather than the, of course, it's as useful as the first part. So please, people, try to interact more next times. And anyway, next appointment is on June the 18th with our expert on managing social media with a low budget from Michener Art Museum. So thank you, Dixie. Thank you, Paolo. Thanks, everyone, for taking part in it. And see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.